Greetings and welcome to Beacon Unitarian Universalist Congregation. To our members, friends, and everyone joining us in our virtual congregation on YouTube today.
Hello, I am the Reverend Robin Landerman Zucker, minister of this congregation, and I will be hosting our virtual recorded worship service for today, November 15th, 2020, with music from Roomie Wood and Rebecca Prizznick. The guest in our pulpit today is the Reverend Anthony Mtuaswa Johnson, and his sermon is entitled Democracy, a Dream Deferred. We're glad you have made Beacon, Unitarian Universalist Congregation, part of this day in your spiritual life. Our congregation is spiritually open and intentionally inclusive. Whoever you are and whomever you love, you are always welcome here, and we will marry you here. Our members and friends bring many interests, theologies, and viewpoints to our door. Here we trust you will find a common desire for meaningful community and spiritual growth, and for relevant religious exploration in a framework with very flexible borders. Membership in this congregation is open to anyone who chooses to walk with us in the spirit of love, the search for truth, and the pursuit of justice. As I light the chalice, the symbol of our free faith, I invite you to light your own chalice or candle at home as we recite the unison words you will see on your screen.
We light this chalice with a flame that draws us together. With this flame, we cut through the darkness of isolation and are warmed by the fires of our inner connection.
The mission and covenant of Beacon express our values and our vision of ourselves as a gathered community in the world. Please say the mission and covenant with me. You will see the words on your screen. The mission of Beacon Unitarian Universalist Congregation is to be a welcoming community that embraces diverse thought and belief and builds a just, peaceful, and compassionate world. Love is the spirit of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in kindness, thus do we covenant. And now, Rev. Anthony has some welcoming words for us.
Greetings and blessings, everyone. I'm the Reverend Anthony Mtuaswa Johnson, and it is indeed a pleasure and an honor to be able to share some time with you on this day. You know, I just recently received the results from my ancestral DNA process. I sent in and did the 23andMe program, and I discovered that I am, yes, 70% West African and 30% Irish. Now, why this, it did really surprise me because I have this thing which I speak a lot about in my multicultural anti-racism work, the reality that as far as races, black and white and others, we've been jumping up and down with each other for 400 years. So I wasn't really startled or surprised, with or without permission, by the way. But what startled me and made that so ironic is that for the last 3 years or so, I have been opening all of my sermons with the covenant that resonated with me the first time I heard it, and I've been sharing and repeating it ever since. And yes, lo and behold, it is from the UU Church, which I discovered lately, of Dublin, Ireland. And it goes like this. And it sums up my journey and what resonates with me on this journey of Unitarian Universalism. I quote, "We do not ask what you believe, or expect you to think the way we do, but only that you try and live a kind and helpful life with the dignity proper to that of a human being. Welcome all who believe that religion is wider than any sect and deeper than any set of opinions. Welcome all who might find in our friendship strength and encouragement for daily living. End quote.
Please join me in singing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat of not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in a path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places our God where we met thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Now is the time in our service where you are invited to share a personal joy or sorrow in the supportive fellowship of this community. It is November 15th, and we are all holding each other in love and light and hope as we navigate through some post-election chaos. And so this is a stone for things to settle down in our country for all of us, and for democracy to prevail, which is the topic of our service and our sermon today from the Reverend Anthony Johnson. This is a stone really just for all the joys and sorrows that we hold in ourselves because they are either too tender or too private to share. So let us remember that everyone is fighting their own private battle. Everyone is dealing with COVID. Everyone is dealing with society as it is right now in different ways. Everyone is dealing with being apart from loved ones, especially as the holidays approach. So let us remember that everyone is fighting their own private battle, and be kind, compassionate, flexible, and forgiving with one another. I invite you in the privacy of your own space, your own heart, your own spirit, to share joys and sorrows into the silence, followed by a breathing meditation. Remember, we do this every week, breathing in 4 beats through your nose slowly, and then breathing out 5 beats slowly through your mouth. See how you can create spaciousness during the breathing meditation from the crown of your head down to the soles of your feet. Blessed be. I've chosen a reading today to complement Rev. Anthony's sermon. It's the poem, I Am the People, I Am the Mob. It was written by Carl Sandburg in 1916, and it pays tribute to common people in America. In the poem, he mentions how important the people are throughout history, common people, and how powerful they can become if they learn the lessons of yesterday and today. The poem goes like this. I am the people, the mob, the crowd, the mass. Do you know that all the great work of the world is done through me? I am the working man, the inventor, the maker of the world's food and clothes. I am the audience that witnesses history. The Napoleons come from me, and the Lincolns. They die. And then I send forth more Napoleons and Lincolns. I am the seed ground. I am the prairie that will stand for much plowing. Terrible storms pass over me. I forget. The best of me is sucked out and wasted. I forget. Everything but death comes to me and makes me work and give up what I have, and I forget. Sometimes I growl, shake myself, and spatter a few red drops for history to remember. Then I forget. When I, the people, learn to remember, when I, the people, use the lessons of yesterday and no longer forget who robbed me last year, who played me for a fool, then there will be no speaker in all the world say the name, the people, with any fleck of a sneer in his voice or any far-off smile of derision. The mob, the crowd, the mass will arrive then.
Shall we gather by the river, where bright angels' feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God, that flows by the throne of God.
My sermon today is entitled Democracy, a Dream Deferred. Democracy, a dream deferred. That word democracy, made up of two words, demos, meaning people, gratia, meaning power. which literally people power, or as we like to say, power to the people. When I was told years ago that the word democracy was in fact not in our Constitution, nor in the Declaration of Independence, I was a little startled and taken aback. Surely that could not be so. But upon further research, I discovered that yes, it is so. And the deeper I went, I made some other discoveries, namely that our founding fathers, I judge, feared democracy. Let me quote none other than the father of the Constitution, the fourth president of the United States, and the author of the Bill of Rights, Mr. James Madison, from his Federalist Paper number 10. And I quote, "Instability, injustice, and confusion have in truth been the mortal disease under which popular governments everywhere have perished." End of quote. You see, our founding fathers preferred another term, the term republic, as opposed to democracy, because it described a system where stability, justice, and order is maintained, as Madison mentioned, by more knowledgeable and wealthier citizens, namely white men. I wanted to say landowners. More knowledgeable folks. So women, people of color need not apply. So today, in our culture and society, we tend to use these words interchangeably, republic, democracy, as if they mean the same. I offer that they do not mean the same thing. Yes. Alexander Hamilton, I would like to quote him as well. He speaks to this. He says that, quote unquote, men most capable of analyzing presidential candidates, end of quote, will get to make the final decision. Now, we all have heard, and we grew up understanding and hearing about Greek democracy. Most of us know that's kind of where that tradition comes from. What many of us may not know, though, is that the Greeks practiced a direct form of democracy called sortition. S-O-R-T-I-T-I-O-N for my Google friends. Sortition it means random selection. Yes, lottery, random selection. You might get a call tomorrow under this system asking you to come down and sit into a legislative body. Sortition was the way that the Greeks populated their legislative bodies, their courts, by sortition. Most of their bureaucracies were, in fact, populated this way. Of course, I'm pushing that a little bit as a try on. What might that look like for us to use sortition? How might young people, other people, all people might be more involved in a system where we felt we could be tapped on the shoulder, you could be called at any time to play a significant role? Of course, we would take that sortition model and attenuate it and update it into our current democratic frame of reference, i.e. a place where slavery is outlawed and where gender equity is paramount, I might say. We would take the capability, deliberative skills, the capabilities, all the networking technologies, bring those to fore and create a new form of democracy that I call Democracy 2.0. Here we go. Now they say to make a good omelet sometime, they say you might have to break a few eggs. So we're gonna take a risk and break a few. We're gonna sprinkle in some ordinary people, some of that spice, and like all good cooks, we would taste as we went, depending on the flavor or what is called for in the moment. What I'm calling for is a consideration that this is time out for all politicians. It is time for sortition, the random selection of ordinary people like you, like me, to govern ourselves. I hear some of my doubting Thomases out there, and I've heard the criticism, of course. Namely, the biggest criticism is, man, that would you just could end up with anybody. You might end up with anybody. You mean like we do now? No. Folks think that maybe ordinary people don't have the bandwidth or the responsibility to make good, sound decisions. I'm happy to report that's not what the research says. There is a wealth of recent evidence that has shown that groups of randomly selected ordinary people can and do make balanced, informed, and trusted decisions. Yes. Example, think jury duty. Yeah. Here we put the power of someone's life and death in the hand of 12 randomly selected citizens. We trust them to make a decision about concerning the life and death of one of our fellow citizens. It's working fairly well, I would judge. So just take a deep breath with me. And let's just imagine for just a moment what it would be like to no longer have to please financial donors when it comes to how we govern ourselves. No more being barraged by all these media commercials, sound bites, wealthy donors. You wouldn't have to, no. Oh, they might pull away. Let them go. We don't need them anymore. We're relying on each other, on ordinary people who have been selected. So powerful, vested interests can move along. Now, know that the new representatives who were selected would be held accountable as we hold them accountable now. Yes, they would have to report to the media and be questioned and held accountable for their actions and for their decisions. But of course, and yes, we would still need lawyers. We would still need all attorneys to work out precise details of laws. So all my attorney friends, relax. No, we would indeed need you. The big difference being that now you would work for us. So I do believe that a real democracy, because I tend to be an optimist, it's not only possible, it is now a necessity. We must think out of the box, even at the risk of breaking a few eggs. And though arguably our politics is broken, there's a part of me that believes it can be fixed. It can be fixed. Under such a sortition system that I envision, even a waitress could become a congressperson. a not too undercover shout out to AOC. My driving assumption, an underlying assumption, I believe resonates with many of you who are watching and viewing this sermon today. Many of us, you believe that reaching conclusions through reason rather than force or coercion is better. How about moral reasoning versus backroom deal making or self-interested bargaining? We would begin on a cultural level, on a societal level, to honor our sixth principle of Unitarian Universalism. And I quote that one: the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and within the society at large. End of quote. So yes, presently, democracy for me remains a dream deferred. And arguably today, that dream has turned into a nightmare. And it's playing out in front of our faces every day. So I'd like to close with the words of James Baldwin. And he says, and I quote, "Not everything that is faced in life can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Blessed be. Amen. Ashe.
Please join me in singing "Come and Go With Me." Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound.
The spirit of generosity and gratitude flow through Beacon. Each week, whether we are here in our sanctuary or here in our virtual sanctuary on YouTube, we take an offering each week to support Beacon and its programs, its staff, and its buildings. So I invite you to make a donation today to Beacon. You can do that two ways. You can go to our website, beaconuu.com, and find the donate button and make a secure online donation through the Venco application. We ask that you make that directly from your bank account rather than a debit card, because that'll save us some fees and there will be more for Beacon. Or you can send a check to us at our Flagstaff address, 510 North LaRue Street, Flagstaff, Arizona, 86001. Either way, we are very, very grateful for your generosity, especially during this challenging time. And finally, our tradition when we're here in our sanctuary, where we hope to be again soon when it's safe to be, we join in a circle at the end of the service, and we hold hands and we feel the warmth and connection and support of our community. So I invite you to envision us holding hands. If you're with someone right now you feel safe holding hands with, hold their hand and imagine us all together again here in this sanctuary. Because whether we are together or we're here on YouTube, we are Beacon, always connected. And now Rev Anthony has some closing words for us from Paul Robeson. Blessed be, blessed we, stay safe and well. Amen.
Our closing words today are from Paul Robeson. I shall take my voice wherever there are those who want to hear the melody of freedom, or the words that might inspire hope and courage in the face of despair and fear. My weapons are peaceful, for it is only by peace that peace can be attained. The song of freedom must prevail.